Yep. Yep. We're doing it. Son of a gun. It's also going to be a little rough when I finally get to that Black Sabbath. Which now I probably may have to go to the races for that. I gotta keep up with some other things. Oh boy. Well, anyways. Well, that was a rough watch along too. Yeah, Schmoedown Rockers, what's up? Kind of a roughish weekend. Would have been nice to have hung with some buddies. You know? I mean, I kind of did, I guess. Through some action Zoom watch along with the Action Army. Well, and discussion in the General's bunker and. Yep. Enjoy it. Enjoy it for the year. While you still can see it. Because it's happening again. Maybe I should have just gotten that shirt sooner. Maybe the luck would have changed. Maybe. But once again. That was my worst fear. Just happened. And even worse than I wanted to happen, because my boy played his worst game ever. More on that, actually. Let's start with another dude that I also decided to form a Facebook page over, but rarely did anything about. Though kudos to some fellow Action Army people who also are fill-ins in the Bandit Brigade. Yeah. That was rough. Seems ever since the Inner Geekdom tournament, though that one was more expected than this. The whole thing was the swagathon, for sure. Should have been stopped in its tracks. Or should I say smashed in its tracks. Didn't exactly happen. And you know what? The only thing I can say that even Finstock himself would say on the Gucci Kaiser show. They scared. They coming. And they're going to be trying to be on a tear. The tide has shifted, and and you can tell, and it's pretty clear. All the old guard of those in the live, when it comes to live and studio matches, that's Magic works best there. It becomes more clear. I wish Kaiser just said fuck it and did what he had to do to get. It was more the fact that he got in his own head. A Roka meets the Kalinowski situation in his match that got him the title in the first place, by the way, happened. Makes me wonder if things would have been different if we did get Mara or if we had the match sooner with that one. But back to that one. It was in a tough spot because of between Bandit Brigade and I do like Rachel and what she's doing with her thing with her channel. I just having a harder time keeping up with that one, even more so since I joined the Action Army and had to keep up with the general debates, which happened to be on the same day. So I apologize. Though I do drop a like. I try to do that for you, girl. So, and I liked a lot of them, a lot of the episodes you've done, so I try to keep up with those. I don't remember if Smash had an episode and I missed it. If I did, I'm going to be very mad at myself. But anyways, yeah, guys. That one was, unfortunately, they just didn't come to play, and it seems like Goddard's just kind of game has just gone ever since the Inner Geekdom one. Though it was expected with the Parker situation. The difference was we weren't expecting Parker to play like that. Which is why it's so fucking weird. I think it's also more the fact that Kaiser just can't do his thing because he doesn't want to give away his fucking strategy. But it's almost like you could say fuck them and do it. It's clear you got to do it, and you probably, and I wish you would have figured that out when it came to the Parker thing, between the Parker and the Smiths, and just what happened in the tournament, so we could have at least seen it, him do what he had. I know he's your buddy, but now you can't play that card anymore, or you're not going to be able to, given he no longer has anything to stay in the dungeon. That's what pisses me off, because now, even if he gets no more contendership, because now I don't know who's to say he'll still be in the dungeon. And no one's going to be generous about it, giving administration shit like I do with mine. So, in places, unless I have no choice, in certain cases like that, the fateful day that only good thing that slightly happened was the Chiefs winning that Super Bowl, despite it being against Kaiser's favorite. But regardless, that had other bad things. It was just the cherry on top that furthered my 2020 between being lost, no longer being kicked out of a band, and just so much other stuff, and just because of the quarantine, I wasn't able to do the outlet I needed to do, so I had some form of momentum going forward for this channel, forcing it to be more, may as well have just renamed to Schmoedown Rocks at this point, but because that's all I've been able to do. Hell, I wasn't able to even do that, and I've now my initial plan I wanted to do, hell, the thumbnail's a lot harder to do, because I can't put on all the thumbnails with that one, so that was sucked with that, so you're never going to get to see or hear me talk about that one, so it just bums me the heck out, and I wish things were better. I'm glad for Oyama being former OG Dungeon. With the pairing with him and Harris, they just had a better run, and it was more in that round 2 that changed everything, and it just resulted in an unfortunate TKO situation for the Pride, and it's not entirely sure, but there is a possibility that they may wind up in the tournament for the teams. We won't know until later. Though, speaking of brackets, we'll get to that. I've never gotten a chance to get to that properly. And that's kind of the thing. It's normal trivia in the forms of singles and teams, and we now get to see through these pay-per-views how the teams is going to roll, or at least how they're planning on handling at least the round twos, and of course what we'll probably also be getting in the that also does make me wonder how if they do a teams championship, how they're going to handle the round 4. Are they going to do it in team style, or are they going to have each individual of the 4 players separately say the answers? I think maybe they'll do it in a teams format, but I'm guessing that's what we're going to have to eventually get once the Corruption versus Founding Fathers, given personal circumstances and the fact that I would rather see a grudge match with this, is I'd rather have Founding Fathers win and finally prove that whatever happened wasn't just the luck of the fact that they had something to cash in and all that stuff. No, that win wasn't really a fluke. And I want it to be, in fact, even more so proving it by making this match pretty much like what we got out of the first one, but in championship format and so much better. Championship format and way, way better. Way, way better. And the other way around about it. So that's at least what I would like to see. But we'll see how that goes with that. But anyways, the whole thing with TKO, and I'm glad for them, and that was the one thing I was fine with Swag with either way, one winning, so I wasn't as bitter despite forming the band brigade. But Oyama's at least part of the thing, and so I'm going to be going to that page and once other things for them, so it's going to be fun. But anyways, and the main event. Everyone says it's something. The only reason why it's something, if anything, when his worst game is still miles better than what is considered to be Kalinowski's worst game, which Smith's beat your ass on, by the way. And lucky you get to have him in your match. Hell, that's part of the. I don't. That whole thing fucked him up, and it was just like, no. I'm still gonna call it bullshit. It's like, did you really? Is that really what you want, Chandra? You don't want my boy at his best. No. That's your fault, because you know when he's at your best, he beats your fucking ass. And that's what's going to happen when we get when we get through the one grudge match that we would have rather preferred as in a championship style than what we did get at the Spectacular. Granted, I don't give a shit because I was happy by the results. I'm bummed more so because Kalinowski didn't give us a fair fight, and I'm more bummed here that he wound up doing the same thing, or at least more so in what happened with the fucking Lord of the Rings match. Which is why I'm so fucking glad with that third round point being a back to, which he had to get, because if not, it would have been a knockout, and it would have been embarrassing as shit, given that he just beat Brad Gilmore, and then Gilmore just mouthed off after what just happened in the Twitch thing, which, Brad, you had it fucking coming, by the way. I like you on other times, but when it comes to this thing, as much as you wrote the book, so did Ken, and guess what? Ace stomped his ass. And I expected that, too. I'll admit with the Laura Kelly thing being a different story because of what came from that match, being that it was not his best. And yet somehow, by some miracle, Ace actually built his own promise and went perfect. Something... I knew the momentum, like I said, beforehand, I knew that momentum shifted when it came to that one. That one was actually cool, and we got one hell, and the Star Wars, that whole tournament in and of itself has been the best thing for that Star Wars division that needed to breathe new life into it, and it hasn't had that life since that Iron Man match between Knapsack and Whitwer. And it's the best thing we could have hoped for to make up for the lack of the Whitwer Damon matchup. Which now, knowing how the level of play you needed to go that Damon has brought, Whitwer wouldn't have been able to pull it off. Well, if Damon gets a little more ring rust, if Damon loses and we finally get to see him a little more ring rust, I'd be happy to at least get him and Whitwer in an exhibition. For an exhibition style match, you know what I mean? Possibly 3-rounder. It'll be fine. Or at least they could just say it's finals championship rules, which would be even better because it'd be in a championship level context. We'll see if we get that next year, because I doubt we're getting it this year anyway. And plus, he's on an even higher level given what he wound up showing. I mean, he wound up being a semi-finalist in the Inner Geekdom tournament, while still holding a Star Wars belt, which, after what just happened, and he lost to a 2-time former champ. So, yeah, that's going to be just... But anyways. And it's in that round, they both wound up missing a question, and I think they got everything right but the ones they missed, obviously. Which, I love the fact that he barely did anything. And all it did, and in doing so, he said he knew it, but he wasn't able to pull it, and it just left him still 4 points, I guess, behind. The moment he missed his 3, and the moment it was Who Said It, I was like, the last time Dungeon member had Who Said It in IG, it fucked us. Even if he got the 5-pointer, which I was hoping he would, so he wouldn't get TKO'd. Or just knocked out in general. Because that would have been more embarrassing. That would have been worse than, almost as worse as what happened with Kalinowski. And luckily that didn't happen. This is his worst game. This is his worst game. And this is what he put out. Chandru, even if by some reason you retain, no. You may seem like you have his number this time. No, that was just more strategical bullshit. And yeah, it fucked with him. But here's the thing. You may have pulled him into that moment where he had it, and then he just lost it, and I couldn't. It's like, did you really want us to have this? Because all of us saw your match between the two of you, how neck and neck, and how nail-biting that was. There is nothing like that here. And I'm not really blaming Smets. I'm blaming the fucking challenge. Whatever justification it is, I don't give a shit. It shouldn't be justified in getting us the match results we did get. Except for the fact the only thing I can be happy with is that it wasn't like Kalinowski spectacular bad. He had that fire. You chose to put it out, which may have benefited you, and but if it was, and if that didn't, you'd have been fucked. And guess what? Now he knows your fucking gameplay, and when he comes back, he's taking it, whether it's you or Chance. And unfortunately for you, I'm betting on Chance. Because anyone who beats goes through technically 3 fan leaguers before beating a former champ. Upon beating a former champ to get to you and having been a fan leaguer, no go. You're fucked. He's coming back. He will come back. And I know he will, because he's capable of it. And because like I did last time, and it worked really well, I'm telling you that right now. Because I will not wear this shirt until he gets it back again. Sadly, I gotta wait till 2021, but that's the fucking year for you of 2020. This whole thing just further solidified how much my years went to shit. Because I had... Also note that as of the recording of this is before Smash and Kaiser go on the Action Guys and say a little more. So, just after watching this, go back and watch that and get a little more details that I might have missed and might say more in the chats or something. Possibly. And eventually I might be able to do something about that. And I'm hoping to at least finish doing something after this. But anyways. As far as the matches, what did y'all think? Leave a comment below, let me know. And potentially with my bracket predictions, which we're starting for at least the round 1 stuff. Alright. I don't know if I'll write it down, though. I might write it down later, but... Anyways. Andres Gallo. The red one, for some reason the red don't come out as good as the freaking yellow. It's weird. So it's like I gotta squint to see it. Andres Gallego and Adam Collins doing an in-play. We're supposed to figure out if Sabrina Reimers or Jen Kemper are supposed to, but I don't think we'll ever... I think these are the play-in matches coming up, too, by the way, so we're going to have the first being which Frank Moran versus James White. Hopefully James White will finally pull out something after all the trade-in stuff. Somerville and more... Even though that one was... I understand that thing, but I think that political red tape is bull. I'd like her to prove me wrong, but let's face it, it's more so McKee who had, which there are a few things corruption-wise I like, but she might be one of them. We'll see how her promos go. But anyways, either way, she might, it's more likely that she'll come out of this, especially given the current format. Bonnie's not ready. And Ken ain't going to be able to do much. So... It's whoever, no matter what, they face Oyama. And Oyama, given especially what we've gotten out of him through Final Exam, yeah, I wouldn't mess with him. Then we're going to have and then apparently Vinny Mancuso, my boy in the dungeon, is going to have to either face Ramirez or Camp. And yeah, Kent might have more of a shot because we don't know anything on Ramirez, and I want to see if she has potential at the very least, even if Mancuso winds up stomping him out. Because we need some points, even after this. That's another thing. He banked a lot of it on IG, and now it's leading me to some other ones, and that's gonna be, and either win of those is gonna be facing the winner of, well, either ones on the top brackets are gonna face. I'm guessing one is the winner for the championship one, I guess, or I'm guessing Roca's gonna be in the bracket and face either Gallegos or Collins. It's not good either way. Between Merle or Roca, you're gonna be screwed. And then it's Erwin Roca, so yeah. So Erwin's making it, so it's still gonna, like, that's what sucks, is that we have to hold off on a play-in match because Roca didn't get the job done like he should have. And he's probably gonna wind up in, and I'm guessing it's the one within the Erwin Roca match, so it's gonna be either Sabrina or Mancuso. Kemper, Mancuso. We gotta wait on that, which sucks. Which we would have found out sooner, you know. Would have helped. Kalinowski versus Nemiroff. I wouldn't sleep on Nemiroff, but I understand most people pick Kalinowski in that bracket, so. Tim probably will win, but I'd love to see Tom pull it out. Just for catharsis, since what happened with the whole Tom and Paul thing. And Preston versus Zipper. Zipper has it, but Preston's going to be tough. And then he's going to probably have to wind up facing either Roca Ramirez or any of them. I'm hoping it's not a situation with what happened with Cuckoo's Mess in terms of the Riley match. I mean, oh yeah, Jader and Vejvoda. Vejvoda needs some time to redeem himself, but I'm still thinking after what happened with my Brittany, I should have just stuck with Parama anyway. And now he's burning Druids, which the only good thing about it right now. Well, one of the few good things about the Druids at this point, given circumstances. So he'll probably beat Vejvoda more likely, given what had happened. Vejvoda could pull off a win. It all depends on how things go with the questions and everything with that. I got Robert Montoya on that one. So Robert Montano of the former late to the party, now with the usual suspects, versus Steph Snyder. I know most people will probably give it to Snyder off of experience, but I'm not. I think Montano will upset him in the same way that what happened when Late to the Party pulled it off. Don't sleep on it. Don't sleep on it. And he's a good dude too, so that's kind of part of it as well. A tough one for me, even more so after the Janine match. Riley versus Video Drew. And it's gotta be Video. It's gonna be Video Drew. It's just gonna be Video Drew. For me. Obviously, I gotta go Dungeon all the way for that. I'm not gonna sleep on Riley with that one, but I could see Riley pulling it off because given how much of a hard guru he is, he can kind of, and given what he wound up having to do to Makuga, he knows how that whole game with her kind of works, I guess. He'll have an immunity to it, guaranteed. But a Video Drew can do the best that she can. He'll just be like, it's creepy, but, I can deal with creepy. Whatever. And even though Video Drew is going to be on, given it's going to be virtual, she'll be on some creepy pasta. He's serving Riley some creepy pasta. That's what I meant to say. But anyways, yeah, I'm hoping for Video. I'm hoping what they're saying about Video Drew is what's happening, because if she can beat a former champion, Mark Riley, I think that she could run it. But that all depends on if Nemiroff goes after. Hell, even in that regard, Nemiroff has more of an immunity. But I'm not even sure about that. I think she gets freaked out even more easily. Kalinowski, I don't know. Kalinowski's a different story with that, but I think she won't because he's just as good an actor, and he'll just be like whatever. But anyways, yeah, I hope she makes it. I'd love for Video Drew to upset Kalinowski in that regard, but we won't. But I'll talk about that another time. Oh yeah, the Frank Marlon James White. It could be James White, but I could see Bibiani winning that. Anyways, the Barbarian and Cybold, more likely Barbarian. Liz Shannon Miller, Rachel Silverstream. I'm gonna give it to. I give it more to Silverstream, but given the last match, I can understand if Shannon Miller does pull it off, given her recent matchup does pull it off. So that's what's gonna be tough. Because sometimes these brackets do kind of come off in a way that kind of screws certain individuals from wanting to actually make a progress here. Though Chance Ellison more like, which is why I feel bad for David Del Rio, because given what has just happened with IG, of course Chance is might go on a pretty good run, at least enough to make it to maybe the third round. We'd be lucky if it's semifinals. Mark Draco Achity, and even though it would be funny if Achity and Alonso did get a chance to face each other in round 2, given who they are facing and their pedigrees, yeah, it's probably going to end up being Brendan Meyer and Mark Draco, so regardless of certain things that no one else hopefully knows. Anyways, then we have the Lon Harris, Sabina Grace. I feel bad for her because after Harris has probably got might actually get this. But if Sabrina, I'd be happy for Sabrina if she does win this one. But they still have to probably wind up facing whoever in that bracket, and that's going to be tough regardless. They may not make it. It's going to be, yeah. Unless Lon could still pull it off on his own. We shall see. But he hasn't been doing great, but he's just doing enough to help allow Paul to carry in that final exam. But we'll see how that goes against Shazam, given that's who they're going to be facing later. Anyways, I think, in terms of the round 1 predictions, that's all I can say, since I can't really give a full confirmation between the Kemp and the Ramirez issue. So, with that, in the terms of the play-in match, since we are going to have 4 play-in matches, even though I don't know how the heck they're going to, given how this is, I don't, like, they're going to have to hold off on one play-in match, which is kind of weird to do, if we're being honest. Though that already means that I guess certain matches that already aired that I think I heard they already tried to air. But anyways, but that's about it, guys. I think that's all I can say for now about it, about what the brackets will be. I'll probably write in my stuff and then we'll go from there, or at least I'll just make my sort of predictions on what to go off from the next matchups. So it's gonna be fun trying to write in brackets for those. But anyways, what did you guys think of my predictions that I can make? But it all depends on who wins that championship match. I don't know if that's this week or not. I think it should be, given the play-in match that we need to see, that needs to happen. Not sure when they're going to put that in. That's why it's so confusing, and that's why I think they should have tried to at least make sure that they should have released and done the matches they should have done sooner rather than later. Because now it's just going to be a very confusing bracket way to figure out, because they're probably already going to start straight into a tournament as opposed after 3 play-in matches anyway. But that's my predictions on that. Rest in peace, Shirt, for the channel again till he gets his belt back. But what did you guys think? I know you're probably bummed you're never going to see that shirt on the channel for a while. I'll have a backup plan, and I'll maybe do an unboxing for that later. Eventually, I'll do the Black Sabbath thing for him anyway. And Kaiser, too, because apparently he loves Sabbath as well. Why else would there be a Sabbathy thing in the main dungeon theme anyway? Or at least the Tony Iommi tone. Let's get that straight. But anyway, especially given also some element of Mastodon or well, those bands get different Sabbath. But anyways, what did you guys think of my bracket predictions, of my thoughts on the recent Schmoedown Throwdown matches from August 7th? Leave a comment below, let me know. As always, guys, keep it random, keep it real, keep it rocking. And I don't feel like doing it because I'm not in the mood for it. But I'll still do Savage. I can still do that. What you gonna do? Or I can do Hulk and then Savage. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Also, rock that like button, thrust if you must. Hit the subscribe button and the bell notification for all and all that stuff. And what you gonna do? What you gonna do? Schmoedown rocks. The movie trivia Schmoedown. Runs. True Schmoedown is Sky about entertainment and all them. Runs wild on you. Ooh, yeah. Dig it.